What's the Church of Scientology so afraid of?
This is SPTV.
Welcome back. Degraded Daughters is back with one of our very dear friends, Liz, who we have been chatting with and learning about over the past couple of months since we started our YouTube channel. This has been one of the best things about starting our channel, is connecting with all of the other people that have gone through similar situations and have similar heartaches, and we can understand and we speak the same language. With that, I want to hand it over to Liz so that she can tell what she would like the world to know about her story and her life and her journey so far. Liz?
Okay, so let's see.
And let's start with where we are in history. So it's June 28th right now. 1 week and 3.5 days ago, we went to gold. So I'm sure by the time people are seeing this, they'll have seen what we did. So we're now a week and a half past that, dealing with harassment from the Church of Scientology for doing that. And we want to honor Liz's story and have her tell it in her words. So this might be a stressful time for all of us, just as a warning to our viewers, but we're all doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Please take it away, my dear.
So let's see. So this whole situation started off with getting a phone call asking for me to pay for my dad's debt collection, or freeloader's debt. Freeloader's debt. For those of you that don't know what a freeloader's debt is, it's just Scientology's way of, sucking your soul and your wallet. Or if I knew where he is. I asked, how is that possible? If I knew where he is, he's dead. And they hung up on me. Okay. No words can express the confusion that was going through my head. And so I sat on it for a day or two, and then I finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to message Claire. She was at gold. I'm going to message her. I'm going to see if they've potentially changed their freeloader debt policy. And one thing burrowed into another, and all of a sudden, when did your dad die? And Golden Era told me that he was dead in 2004. Okay, breakdown to today.
You were 23?
I was 24. I was born in 1980. So, breakdown to today, you're talking, 19 years later, right? Yeah, almost 20 years. Almost 20 years has passed since I was told he was dead. In the process of that, found out that there's no way that he could have been dead in 2004 because I have witnesses that are willing to sign an affidavit saying that in 2005 he was alive. So now I'm contradicting, now I'm spiraling. After a welfare check, because yes, I did do a welfare check at the Golden Era base, the officer went to the front gate and he was told that he's alive and well. The first officer went to the gate and was told by the front gate that he is alive and well, and told me to drive down if I can and try at the front gate myself. Okay, let's just go to the scariest base on the planet where they could potentially suck you back in. Okay, sweet. So I planned for this trip, talked to you. We looked at hotels, we looked at flights, and finally decided to drive. In the process of all of that, I've probably never been so scared in my entire life. I could only envision anyone, and by them, I mean anyone from gold, telling me that I signed a billion-year contract, and if I go in, I'm not coming out. And so that's all I kept envisioning. So in the process of this, I sucked up every bit of courage I had, some support with me as well as my partner. And we had security, Jeffrey Augustine, who's now been blamed for the whole debacle when he was really security.
His mind games made us do it.
I know. He tricked me without ever talking to him. That's what it was.
That was what the cops told our dad even said, or whoever his handler was said was the story, was that Jeffrey,
it was Jeffrey Augustine.
It was Jeffrey's fault. Charlie's Angels, we afterwards we did name him Charlie, because we're Charlie's SP's Angels. So
that's right, Charlie's SP Angels.
You guys will love the photos.
Fun.
So in the process of that, we go out there. We're standing out there, and while I'm standing out there, I announce that I'm Elizabeth Ferris. I'm Robert Ferris's daughter. So now my name is out there. Yay! Let's start this. And as stupid as it sounds, I deluded myself into thinking that even though there was a less than a 1% chance that he was going to come out, that it was going to happen. He was going to come out. I was going to get to give him a hug and yank him in a car. And he was going to say goodbye. And he was going to be real. Unfortunately, that's not how it happened. After waiting there, I think it was 2 or 3 hours, it was something crazy, because when you're in scary territory, time does fly. So in the process of all of that, we do another welfare check, because this time we want them to do a face-to-face. Okay, so while we're standing there, I'm scared. Everyone's scared. We're trying not to be, but we are. And the cop calls back while we have lots of traffic going by, which it's a busy road. There's a lot of traffic, I'm guessing. But in the process of all of that, it was more along the lines of, you have an illegitimate daughter. I felt comfortable with him talking to me on the phone because he sounded like an old man. Because, yeah, that gives you right there. Obviously, that he is the only old man on the planet. And he's like, I just feel confident that's him. And kept, told me twice that I was an illegitimate daughter, but he was somehow emailing, or not emailing, I apologize. He was somehow writing letters to Elizabeth. I'm the only Elizabeth. So you want my driver's license? What would you like to be able to actually come out here? While I'm mustering up that little strength to try to make a joke of it, I got stuck in the whole, I'm an illegitimate child. And I was suddenly back to being 8 years old, trying to stay away from, unfortunately, for a lack of better words, the Cadet Academy. Nobody wanted to be near the Lord of the Flies. And so then Jeffrey, our security, was basically like, let's get out of here. Don't show them that they won. But in my heart, they did. Because that was probably the most hurtful thing I'd ever heard in my life, and something I hadn't prepared for. So we left. We went and got something to eat. I thought we were being followed because, of course, paranoia takes over. Then we go about the rest of the trip trying to make it fun. Trying to, I don't know, just make it better than what it was turning out to be. Sorry if I'm fidgeting. I'm really sorry. This is a harder thing to do than I thought it was going to be.
I fidget a lot when I talk, and
I fidget a lot too, and I move back.
It's just an uncomfortable topic, but you're doing great.
Yeah.
And you guys actually made such a beautiful
proud.
Weekend out of it with going to Pride, and I was really
We
proud
did.
of
We
you.
went to Pride, and it was my partner and my first Pride together, because we never actually, as long as we've been together, it's been during COVID. So of course, you can't go to Pride. You can't, you can barely fart in the wind. Sorry, just bad time for jokes. But at the same time, it's
Always time for jokes.
and we couldn't do a lot. So that was our first pride.
And she fell in love with a 3-legged dog. So
Yes, my partner did fall in love with Elvis. Absolutely. She even makes the sound now. She'll just be like, grr, grr. I'm like, oh God. But she makes the sound and she loves it. So you can't.
Yeah.
It was a good thing. It was
a hard time, but also just a tiny bit of beauty, right?
Yeah. And that's the fun part of it, that turns something really shitty into a great memory. And Vanessa says her favorite part is when I took my psych drugs at Gold.
On their property, because they've made it
brilliant.
so that the road, like, you cannot even walk by without being on their property or getting like killed in the one way out of town or one of the ways out of town. So it's a busy street, like she was saying, and then you can't not be on their property if you're trying to get information from the security booth. So yeah, we were out there and she's like, I'm very anxious. I need my anxiety pills. I was like, holy shit, what am I even seeing right now? Like, she was scared to come. And now she's like popping a psych drug on their property. Like, this is the most badass thing I've ever seen.
And that was funny texting it, by the way.
Through the roof. Like, needed to
and you
calm
were
my
taking care
down.
of yourself. That was a beautiful moment. You're like, okay, my body is reacting. I'm like in fight or flight. I need to calm down, and that's okay.
Yeah, because that's what therapy has helped us realize, that emotions aren't the enemy. Oh my goodness. Hi, honey. So in the process of all that, we went to a pride. We had a great time. We went to the Pineapple Express. That was even better. And you turned it into a really good trip, or at least not as evil as it had to be.
Well, we got incredible footage for people to see what it was really like, and the hope that we feel when we're waiting for our own parents to break our own hearts. And it's really truly sad, because we just want to be loved by them. And it's been a really impossible wish for our life.
Because unfortunately it's like this it's almost like the infinity logo. No matter how many times you go around and around just chasing itself, you keep hoping at one of those turns. My partner's got a great dad. He loves the shit out of her. If need be, would you give your life for your daughter? He would have already given his life. It's just a part of who he is. He loves the shit out of her.
I'm so glad you get to be part of that lovely love.
It's cute, but I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
There's times that I've been jealous where it's like, oh my God, I got a shit mom, but I'm seeing what a real dad actually looks like. Okay, cool. Yeah. And then it's okay, I have a shit dad, he's dead. But wait, just wait. Just kidding.
I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. When you sent me that message, I was literally thought I read it wrong. When you said, oh, my dad's actually still alive, I'm just finding out. And I'm like, wait, what? It's been almost 20 years since you and his family thought he was deceased. Who lies about that? Who lies about someone being deceased for 20 years? No, that's insane. Well, that's so insane.
See, when you take a step back and think whether or not it's insane, it's absolutely insane for people that are wogs. Let's be real, out in the real world, that's insane. Inside there, in this warped, this bubble of Mary had a little lamb, or, where all the sheep just follow and jump over the fence. And no matter what you do, what you got to keep doing. For us outside, it's disgusting and deplorable.
Very.
But inside, they probably thought, you know what? She's a queer, and unfortunately, that means her LRH. I'm 1-1 and shouldn't be here. Like I'm almost like an abomination.
Which is fucking horrible. Let's just take a quick second to say, fuck L. Ron Hubbard. He's a piece of shit. A homophobic, sexist, racist piece of shit.
Agreed.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Just fuck him. You can say it too, Liz. Join in on our rampage.
I'd like to dig him up, set him on, bring him back to life, cover him in lie while he's alive, and then do really bad things.
Wow.
I mean, we'll hold space for you to do that too. We're down with whatever. But
we could do a seance.
I was going to say a seance. Yeah. Can we bring the pills though?
How do we do it?
I don't know.
We'll plan it. We'll plan it. It's cool. It'll be like a really healing ritual. I know Carrie's going to be down, and then Elvis can be our little cult leader.
Oh, he would be amazing cult leader. He would bite the shit out of anybody that got out of line.
Oh my God. Can we dress like the craft?
Yeah, of course.
That's our whole vibe.
Duh.
That's our whole vibe, baby. Yeah.
Well,
that
Liz,
would be awesome.
We have, since we got back, experienced harassment, me more than you, because I
you live
think
in LA and I live far.
True. You also have more celebrity dirt than your average public Scientologist. You were in the Sea Org. You worked at CC.
Yep.
And I feel that they are, or have been, possibly leaving you a bit alone because one, maybe they,
of the shit that happened.
You're just like you are literally intimately involved with like scandal. So if they were to piss you off, which they are because they're harassing me in Los Angeles. So you've gotten to the point now where we're about to go to the news with the information because we've been working with the FBI for the last couple weeks since we did this, and we were told to not do it or not really talk about it. So we have been
keep it on the down low.
Yeah, just because the people in authorities were like, making moves, but it's been a couple weeks, and I'm not cool with like fighting this war alone. Liz isn't, and Elysia isn't either. We deserve public help and stuff, and sharing your story along with it. And it's such a horrible, tragic thing that they did to you, and now the abuse continues. So we're just so powerful by exposing it.
It does. And the only thing, when I got out, I didn't have an easy way of connecting with people. To be honest, I really just didn't. I didn't understand everybody on the outside. And then if you said fuck in front of a regular person out here, you were in so much trouble. But inside, it was like how you explained anything.
Any and everything. Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, these eggs are fucking delicious. Now you have to be like, oh, the eggs taste delicious. No.
We have mouths of sailors because everybody was literally in the Sea Org. We all have mouths of sailors. Apologies.
True. But then it's like when you're I forget where I was going with that.
Outside world.
Oh, so once you get to the outside world, it's not easy to connect. And by not easy, it was just impossible. I still don't understand quite a lot of things. And so when I went back, I still had part of the reality of, being in this, like being a Scientology kid, a Sea Org Scientologist kid, and then being out in the real world for a little bit. But for some reason I went back and now it wasn't until my other half decided I made the mistake of saying, hey, I grew up in Scientology, and it wasn't a mistake. That's the wrong word. I don't believe in the holding the cans, but I believe in the study tech. And so basically she helped me realize that you can't believe in one without believing in all of it. And all of it is a cult. You're told what time to eat, sleep, drink. You're told, get up at 6:30 in the morning. You're not off work till 11:30 at night. and you have to rinse, recycle, repeat. Isn't that the saying? Rinse, recycle, repeat? Okay. So I'm really bad with saying sometimes.
So am I.
You're doing good. You're doing great, actually.
But it's like you keep doing it. And so inside you're trapped in this giant bubble where if someone tells you, oh, this person's bad, then you believe it and you can't help it. Because that's just how stupid you were. You know, and
not stupid, just brainwashed. You're just brainwashed. There's so many smart people in there, but you're brainwashed, and that's like part of it,
and,
you know?
Yeah, and the horrible part
was the fear and
I was brainwashed till I was 41, 42. And I'm 43 now. Oh, yeah, so I must have been 41. She had me sit down. I started telling my therapist about growing up in Scientology. That was interesting. And then she was like, well, whenever you're ready.
The visual of that story you guys told me when you were like wasted and then you accidentally told somebody like subconsciously that you were a Scientologist.
Yeah. So
and that tripped you and carried the fuck out. And that would trip me the fuck out. But it's something so deep in our like blood, right?
So basically, I'll explain that one. I made a horrible mistake drinking while on antidepressants. A lot of them. Because unfortunately, yes, some antidepressants work. Some doctors are amazing, but some doctors just give you too much. And some doctors don't talk at all. So now you got like 2 different doctors prescribing you a ridiculous amount. So in the process of all of that, I drank almost an entire bottle of vodka.
Oh, no, it was a whole bottle.
Okay, my bad. It was a whole bottle of vodka.
Not almost, a whole one.
And then in the process of that, I have no memory. I have no memory whatsoever, but there's video. And, you know, it basically came out where when the cops came, because, yeah, I got that bad. The first words out of my mouth were, I'm a Scientologist. Or I grew up in Scientology. Like, I immediately went into PR mode and what the fuck? That was
weren't we talking about how the press, like, wait till the press gets a hold of this? Because that was pulled on me too. So, like, it was like in your head, you were really fucked because you were representing not just you, but Scientology.
Yep. And you just fucked up so bad that, oh, fuck, shit's gonna hit the fan. And thank God I was in the middle of a mental breakdown. Not the God part, but I got help. I went to a facility and with help from my partner, from the psychiatrist, I got to a correct amount of medication, not where I'm popping Skittles like when I was a kid. 30, 40 vitamins was normal when we were kids. And then I'm doing better and getting stronger every day.
And isn't it, I find it so incredibly beautiful and poetic that you went to a crisis treatment center. Like I've never seen anybody come in who has been through like such religious abuse or have acknowledged it. Like a lot of people come in with some kind of like hallucinations or paranoias having to do with, very fictitious religious creatures, but I've never had anybody come in suffering from spiritual abuse, or an ex-Scientologist. If you would have walked into my crisis center, I would have been like, take a step back, everybody. I got this one. Like it was my
this is my calling.
Line. Yeah, most people are, from very different backgrounds than us. So I'm just so pleased that you were able to get yourself mental health care treatment and that your partner supported you. You had community support. You got on the right program by yourself. You didn't
Well,
have
not
this
really by
community.
myself. I can't take any credit because being
But
realistic.
this kind of community, like you didn't have
Yeah.
your mom and dad telling you what to do. You did
Familiar
not have
support.
your
Mhm.
brother and sister telling you what to do. You didn't have me and Elysia telling you what to do. You know, you
Mhm.
did find Carrie yourself. You did create that relationship, right? So we're just like excited that you guys make such a good
Yeah,
team
she
too.
saved my life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I talked to her as much as I could, and every day she would tell me, "You sound a little better today. You sound a little better today." So it just made me feel better because it's like I'm trying, like I am reading these psych books, and in my head I'm like, why do I keep calling it a psych book? It's just a book.
It's a
That's
psych
all it
book.
is. It's a book. But my mom, when that whole situation was happening, all she was doing was screaming how Carrie didn't love me, and to get my TRs in.
That's horrible.
You know, she was just on this constant repeat of Carrie doesn't
Mhm.
love you. You'll never be accepted to their family.
Mm.
And it was Carrie push it. It was that was pushing me over the edge.
And you have had a very big heart with your mother, I must say. She, from everything you communicated from our entire weekend together, she has been pretty cruel. And you continue to maintain an open heart and give her the benefit of the doubt, even though you know she's probably going to crush your heart. You still care about her, and that is a really beautiful thing. Do you want to share anything about your youth growing up with your mom in the Sea Org?
Here we go. So
Get everything ready.
Yeah, when you grow up in the Sea Org and you're born into it, so there's not, and people, if I hear one more person say that you made a choice, bitch, I didn't know I could make a choice at a month old. Like, just let me know. In the process of it, you're introduced to that world, so you don't know what goes on the outside. You only know this world, and this world is, you know, Hansen sodas. You know, when you start to feel
Oh, we forgot to add that. We forgot to
my
tell
gosh,
Elysia that's on our
Hansen
culture
sodas.
list. Culture.
Okay, Tiger's
Hansen
Milk
sodas.
Bars too. Tiger's Milk
Oh,
Bars
for
too.
sure. Good call.
I was reading it in Catherine Spolino's book, and it so brought up
Yes.
those memories. I was like, that was actually not bad, to be honest, because we didn't get sugar for periods of time as a kid, so I loved it because I
No,
drank
like the most
medicine
sugar I
as
got was
sugar.
or
Yeah,
I occasionally got and it was an occasional thing.
Yeah.
Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream.
Oh,
Because there
that's
used
just
to
good
be,
no matter what.
yeah, there used to be like a little, I want to say like a, what is that the Simpson show, like a quick stop kind of thing.
Yeah, like a quickie mart, like a little
Like a
tiny
Quickie
gas
Mart.
station.
George's
Yeah.
And
General.
it was this little tiny building that you had to walk up this weird ramp.
It was George's General Store.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was tiny, and inside you could get
Mhm.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. They always carried Hansens.
Mhm.
Emergency.
Yeah.
You know, all the normal stuff. So on the inside, that's all you know. And so when you first go outside, you're like, what is this candy? This is amazing. You know, and
Childhood
you're blown
memories
away.
unlocked.
It's
Right?
not just candy, it's every
It's candy, it's
extreme
delectables.
fun thing people
Yes.
want to do. People go hardcore on drugs, people go hardcore on alcohol, they go hardcore on love, they go hardcore on sex, they go hardcore on all
Mhm.
sorts of things, but
Mhm.
candy's a good place to start.
I'm still there.
Yeah, well, mine was drugs, unfortunately.
Well, you can come over to the candy side with me.
Well, now I'm on the candy side.
Okay,
But
good.
originally it, you know,
Yeah.
it brought me down pretty hard.
Well, with your mother, yeah.
Yeah. But it's, you know, when we're kids, this is what we think about. Like, we had the blue tart building, we had the blue buildings, we had AOLA, which, you know, I don't know if we're allowed to mention buildings. You might want to dub that out.
You can.
There's the blue buildings.
I mean, it's on the map. It's on Google
Okay,
Maps.
good. There used to be 4 trees in front of AOA, and I would climb all the way to the top to the 4th floor so that I can tap on my mom's window, because she was the LRH communicator for that building. And I would sit there and tap on her window when I was a kid. Now as an adult, I'm like, are you fucking psychotic? Like, who climbs 4-story trees to tap on a window to talk to their parent?
Kids that don't get their attention from parents and love, that are trying any which way possible to get it.
You just want to hear I love you.
And how old were you when you were climbing up the tree?
Oh God, I started at 5.
Oh, so no one was with you at 5?
No, AOA kids were treated differently than a lot of the other ones. They were given the option to go to the ranches
or kind of nice
daycares. We had no one for a long time. And then we got a person named Stan, and his house wasn't that far from the org, wasn't that far from our schools either. But the problem with Stan was he didn't really like kids. And so a few of us became his punching bag. Like, and I'm not saying like punching bag is in, oh, he just likes to make fun of me. No, I'm talking about like punching you in the stomach, knocking the wind out of you, falling to the ground, thinking that you're going to die at 6 years old because some adult just hit you so hard that you think you've ruptured organs. It hurts. And standing up is not an option. And then seeing him do it to someone else, but not knowing, who do you tell? You tell your parent? Because I told mine. My mom didn't believe me. And it sucked. Because then you turn around and you're like, he's doing this. He's hitting us. Like, we're hiding out in his house so that he doesn't hurt us. He has all these cots laid out, but if one of us pisses him off, we're getting hit. So I'm not only getting hit from the person that's supposed to be my mom, I then start getting hit from him. And that was just debilitating me because I didn't know who to go to. We went to our parents, and our parents acted like we were making shit up. Acted like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. He probably lightly tapped you. No, I know what it feels like to be punched. And it didn't matter. We still got sent back to him. How do I know the theme song to Smurfs? Because he played it on repeat. I can't watch them now. I think it's the stupidest show on the planet. And it never stopped. We went there for years and it never stopped. Not one parent believed us, and not one parent was willing to say that's not okay. My mom says today, oh, if you'd have told me, I did. I did tell you. I begged you to not send me there. Didn't matter. So were we like Lord of the Flies? Yeah. We were a bunch of kids that had no adult supervision, or the person that was responsible for us would either beat the shit out of us or not feed us. Because that was fun to experience as a kid. He's supposed to feed us. And sometimes we just went to bed hungry. And you just had to deal with it because this was your life. And this is all you knew. And you just turn into a jokester because real life sucks.
That's absolutely horrible. I'm so sorry.
So when you were making a statement once, sorry, I'm a nickname person. Just who I am because I'm bad with names. I call VV.
Yep.
You made a comment that you couldn't see doing that to your child.
Yeah.
I can't see doing it to another human being.
I can't either.
But at the same time, I can't even spank someone without losing my ever-loving shit. Like, ever-loving shit, I tremble. But somehow it was okay for us to go through it. And for us to not have anyone. We didn't have anyone that would believe us. Did security know me? Yes, they knew me very well. I was supposedly the only kid that can sneak on into their secret areas. I got in trouble many a times. My mom had dated a guy named Brian, and I thought he was the coolest dad ever. Even though he wasn't my dad and I was still seeing my dad, he would say, "You know what, Squirt, I love you." And I loved that so much that I would sneak to where the RPF was eating. And I would sit down and have a meal with him.
He was on the RPF.
Yeah.
So sad.
He had a son named Robin. And he was a good guy. I grew up. I do want to mention one thing because I want to go on a tangent since we're talking about growing up. And God said, "Let there be light." It's not Xenu.
Thank you.
Not today, Zenu. Thank you, because we're over here like kind of crying and trying
Yeah.
not to, because it's a lot for us to hear, and it's a lot for you to live with and to have gone.
Well,
through.
I've heard it. It's just a really touching.
It's gut wrenching.
It's just like so. Knowing who you are now and how strong you are, and that anybody ever did that to you, it just breaks my heart. And that any child would go through that, and the authorities are removed. There's no social services. There's no checkpoints. Nobody's reporting it. It's just tragic. And like, we are so sorry that you had to go through that. And we will cry with you and share your pain all day long. Even if you're not crying, we will cry for you.
It's one of those things that if you really think about it, yeah, I'll start crying. But I do want to mention one thing, and I have to get this out. When I was 7 years old, I was going to Pinewood Academy. So it's a Scientology school for kids. One of the kids there didn't like me because him and his brother were mouthing off to someone. And then in the process of that, I stood up for this little girl that they were trying to pick on. So turn around, a couple hours later, we're swinging not smart on the basketball hoop. It's got a rope hanging from it. We're just having a good old dumbass time. I'm a flying ballerina. Well, the little kid came up and punched me in the back. I fell face first in the concrete. My 2 front teeth were busted out. And by busted out, I mean they were still attached, but they were pointing back.
They were holding on by the root.
Yeah, they were basically holding on to that little piece of flesh I had left. Immediately went into shock, and 2 people came to my rescue. Yuri and Serge Obolinski. And for that, I'm eternally grateful for them getting me to the main office, and I didn't get to save my teeth, unfortunately, but
they stood up for you, and
I got it was
you had someone that was caring.
Yeah, you had support. Somebody had your back there, at least. That must have felt good.
It honestly did. And I got to talk to him today and tell him all about it. And he doesn't remember a lot, but it was so amazing to know that the first kid that gave me the first person that ever gave me this, "You're safe."
Yeah. And it was another kid, not an adult.
And it was another kid.
I want that to be such
the
a
same
point
thing as me.
Yeah.
So I had to mention that part.
We've always just had each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we had.
If you're lucky, you would find the safe ones and stick with them and do that together.
Yeah, and the funny part about Vanessa is she ran in one circle, but her circle was filled with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I ran with the same people, but we had never met.
Yeah.
Or we met and don't remember each other. Because let's be real, we were kids.
Yeah, for sure. It's like all of us, though. We were really living parallel experiences, but kind of through different, like I I think we all crossed paths in casual ways, but
Mhm.
never had a reason to see each other more than a few times or at the big gatherings. So
Mhm.
when we all get together, it's so strong because, like you were saying, it's always just been each other, supporting each other and protecting each other. Something tragic happened in Serge's family, the Blinsky family, right? I mean, that was like just horrible to see. I think
Asha is the one
yeah.
that when he was born, he had a blood disease, because I remember that as a
yeah.
kid. That he had to get shots all the time, and when I asked him about it, he was like, "I have something wrong with my blood." Like, okay. You know, and then there was Yuri, and Yuri was like mainly even though he was the middle brother, he was the one in charge of like the three musketeers that they were. And the AOLA kids all had each other, and that saved us a lot, because I'm sure that it helped my Nana and the AOLA kids helped make me who I am today.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Scientology taught me how to hate for the first time ever. Like, I never thought that I would say that, but get tortured for a little bit, you'll feel it real quick. And then when you see that building, it instantly brings back, hey, I was right there when that happened. I was in that garage when they forced me to because Celebrity Center likes to varnish their furniture every couple of years, usually before the gala. And I got to scrub and get paint remover with my hands and a bristle pad. And I remember my hands being on fire. And I was like, it feels like they're burning off, but they're not, but they are, and little blisters forming. You can't help it. Little places where shit happened, you're like, I remember where that happened.
Can we talk about the digging of the holes?
So I was handed a shovel, and this is when I was on decks, and I was, at this point I'm trying to route out, because I don't want to be there anymore. I keep put on lower conditions because I can't get my mom to join the Sea Org, or rejoin, I should say. And no matter what, I keep getting in trouble. Like, I didn't run fast enough, or I didn't do this fast enough. And you get put on decks. And so either which way, I was on decks trying to route out, and I kept being told that it was only going to be like a week or two at most. It's 6 weeks of either digging a hole, and you get told start with a 2x2 hole, and then I want you to go by a 3x3, but it needs to be deep. Like, you should be able to fit in there. And I remember when he said you should be able to fit in there, that scared the shit out of me. And I remember thinking, I'm digging my fucking grave. Nobody's going to know where I'm at. My family's not going to know where I'm at. I'm digging a grave. And that's what I would do all day. That hole's not big enough. I need you to dig another one, but I want you to dig it right over here. Same thing. You have to fit in it. And I dug, and with every time I'd get close enough where I knew that my body could fit in there, I wondered if I was going to get pushed in here. Was this going to be the last thing that I see?
That sounds like psychological, like, torture. And you were a kid doing this?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, kind of. I was 20.
Still. I mean, I guess at any age,
you were
it's
old
horrible.
enough to understand that you could just disappear, like,
without anybody seeing.
And it was your own work. I mean, what the actual fuck? So you were 20. So this is after 2000?
Mm-hmm.
What the? FBI, are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? My friend was digging her own grave after being beaten as a child. Can we also discuss what happened? Like, you were they found out that you were getting hurt and they didn't call the authorities, right?
No, nobody called the authorities ever.
Yeah,
And
she was.
now
She,
I know that well, let's be real. We don't know what's true or not. Supposedly Stan got declared. But how many kids did he get to hit? How many people did he hurt before he was finally declared?
yeah, declared doesn't mean turned into the police even.
It
Nope,
doesn't
it
mean
just
much.
means you get a white piece of paper with gold writing that says, "Oh, you a bad person." Sorry. But that's all it is. And if you want to give me a goldenrod, I got a perfect place to frame it right here. Anybody that's listening, I want to put it right here. Just send me my goldenrod. I'm okay with that.
Express delivery,
did you
please.
just teach me something? Because I always thought it was a goldenrod colored sheet of paper with black writing.
It's white with gold writing and black writing.
Wow. Okay, interesting.
Well, it's the ones that I've seen. So unless they've changed it.
No, that's really your brain fills in what it fills in. I just assumed, because I used to see them at the org too, and I thought they were like yellow pieces of paper, but I could just be tripping.
Yeah, at the orgs.
The fact that your parent had a high post, they found out that they were beating you, and then the authorities were not called, and you were not removed.
That was in Florida.
That was in Florida?
That was Florida. So my mom was sent to be, for those of you that don't know, my mom was sent to Flag Base. And this was in 1988. And so she was going to be the LRH comm of Flag. And so she was super excited. This was a great post because she was promised CMOI when she was recruited. And instead they put her in Incom and, and did little side projects and then put her as the AOLA LRH comm. So Flag was a big deal. So we get to Flag. We're there. Oh God, it wasn't even a couple months before she disciplined. Let's be real. She fucked my shit up. Like she rocked it, and she was caught by the woman that lived next door and her daughter. So another child got to see me getting rocked. And so why was my mom doing this? Because she had a bad day. And I guess when I was little, I was a really good punching bag. Hold on, let me straighten this. That's going to mess with there we go.
I really just want to hug you. I'm just like so fucking sad because I know how in Scientology you have a reputation. Like if a child gets a reputation of being kind of a bit difficult or like a little bit of an ethics particle, just follows you and follows you and follows you. And you were just strapped with that from the very beginning and nothing you did. Like you were just a kid. Like you just had kid needs and you had to deal with so much and it just makes me so sad for you. So you're so strong. We're so proud of you.
We're so proud of you.
You stay strong, but I say, unfortunately we grew up in a time where it's shove every bit of emotion down.
Yeah.
And when you get hurt, shove it down. You learn from as many times as you've been hit. If you show emotion, it's
going to be worse.
It's going to continue and it's going to be worse if you show emotion. So just take it and just try to know that there's less pain in a few minutes if you can just take it. You get a sunburn and you're suddenly in lower conditions at 3 years old because you got a sunburn going to the beach. I'm white as hell. My family's Irish. Like obviously red cheeks. Well, unfortunately, in my level of tanning, the only tanning I will ever do is called a spray tan.
It's just child abuse. I mean, it's just like blatant child abuse. It's just so horrible.
Most kids are trying to learn and go to school, and you're trying to learn how to get a smaller amount of beatings. It's
Or
horrible.
and the worst, I mean, not that beatings wasn't horrible, but I loved math. I was great at it. I could not tell you what a letter or a word meant. I can look it up in the dictionary. I was fast as hell. I knew my ABCs. I can find it, the word in the dictionary. Couldn't tell you what it meant because, good Lord, I couldn't read the fucking words.
Because you did how to use the dictionary. You took it seriously. Someone must have explained it to you.
Yeah. But as soon as I left it, 9 years old, I went to go to school. The only thing I excelled at was math. I flunked at reading at first. Like I didn't go to the special class, but I definitely got my own reading person where they taught me how to read, and I got to learn how to find the and cat and hack and bring my reading level from non-existent to okay, you're close to your age group. We're not taught to read.
You had to work so much harder for what everybody else got just for going to school. Just for existing, they went to school and you were playing catch up. That's so many.
Not only that, Liz is brilliant, and a lot of us are brilliant. And so we didn't get any support or direction or guidance. You could have been an incredible physicist. You could have worked at JPL. If anybody had nurtured your math love from such a young age, because I know you have very interesting and unique abilities, like photographic memory style. So if you would have been nurtured, like instead of not taught to read, that's what I get angry about. They really owe you for that.
They owe me for a lot. For every piece of skin I lost, every drop of blood, they owe me for a lot. As you notice, one eye is starting to droop. I've got an awesome thing called trigeminal neuralgia. And the doctors don't know if it's from getting hit. So it's, for lack of better words, it's called the suicide disease.
Because of the chronic pain, right? It's like almost untreatable chronic pain.
It's untreatable chronic pain that my body tends to, because it's in my face. It droops my eye. Sorry.
Maybe we should talk to an attorney about this.
You don't need to be sorry. We're here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like
help.
That's like, these are just so horrible, and we love and care about you so much that there has to be some tiny measure of justice. And I know that we've never won. Like, as a, Danny Masterson went to jail, which was a very interesting turn of events because we're not used to seeing any kind of justice. So we would hate for anybody to turn their wheels and for it to not be useful. But at the same time, Liz, this is real child abuse and neglect and horrible provable things. So I'm just mad for you. If you ever want to do that, I'm sure like someone like Graham Barry would be like a really cool guy to talk to. I love your energy monster life. Oh, Rockstar.
Just in case I finish one, I have a spare. Yep, because the medication that you have to be on puts you to sleep. So it requires a large amount of caffeine in your body, and you pray that your heart doesn't stop one day from caffeine.
I just can't believe how smart you are that you have gotten help for yourself medically, like, because so many people don't. And so I can only imagine just how much one can take trauma-wise. And I'm proud that you took that step to, like, I mean, you heard a voice somewhere. There was some guidance that was like, you're gonna die if you don't do this. And I think that happens with a lot of people. And you either do it and you get yourself help, or you just, go into your next lifetime and drop the body.
Yeah. If their next lifetime is real and I still have my billion-year contract, we're just going to rinse, recycle, and repeat until we don't have a contract anymore. I'm just saying.
It's not real, but I find it terrifying that the last time, weren't you like near there or something? And they said something like they threatened you, like you signed 1 billion years. Like it was some kind of psychological threat, right?
Yeah. The last time I tried to go in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a part of me that's like, it was my own mistake for trying to go in. You know, to try to be like, I'm not scared of you. It's kind of like the idea, like
it was exposure therapy, kind of.
Yeah.
And you don't want them to keep bullying you or be in charge or have any power over you.
Scared of them anymore.
Yeah.
And you're not. You guys went to gold. Are you kidding me? You fucking went up to gold. And there was like no timeline for that. It was like, I think my dad's alive. I think we're gonna maybe be able to go to gold. And I was like, do it.
And then it was like, we're coming tonight.
Well, it was so funny
PM.
because it was such a quick pace, like fast paced thing. And it was like, think we're going to go, this is maybe what we're going to do. And I was like, dude, like, should I try to fly out there? And I totally did try to fly out. I just didn't have an extra like $900. But I was like, dude, when I said we will fucking hold your hand and walk with you and walk beside you, I meant that. And I'm so happy that Vanessa could be there to do that.
Yeah.
So fucking proud of you both for doing that. And your partner, who was amazing. Yeah. And Jeffrey Augustine, thank you for taking care of the little SP angels. Like, thanks, Papa Jeffrey.
Man, we sure picked a time because everything now is really popping off. Like every day it's something new. And
every day it's something new. And here's my hope. Because every day something new is popping off, I'm not the only one with these kind of stories.
No,
I'm not.
No,
you know, and as horrible as it sounds, it doesn't matter. One person, but if we all got together and said, this is what happened to me too.
Yeah.
They can't touch us.
Yeah.
And then eventually someone will look and be like, hey, we gave tax exempt status
to this
and to this person or this religion. And even though it's a religion with no God, well, I guess we now have Xenu. Even though we grew up thinking Scientology, there was no God. It was about the study of knowledge.
Yeah.
And, well, then you had L. Ron Hubbard, I guess, who was the prophet.
Yeah. Or a guru or whatever. I mean, there's plenty of religions that have theologies instead of gods, but it was named a religion by the IRS.
Correct. So, because they got named religion from the IRS, all of a sudden they're tax exempt and they're a real religion. A real religion doesn't force you to pay money to learn about them. A real religion doesn't tell you this is the only way that you can be or believe. It gives you an option. It gives you read this, make your own mind up. Not, hey, spend $10,000, then you can feel and think how we think. It's not.
We'll spend $10,000 to like also be victim shamed and like figure out how you're responsible for everything that's ever bad happened to you and just be like a shell of a person.
Yeah.
So,
no thanks.
You're probably not going to like this part then. So,
but wait, there's more.
When I was getting checked out and I had done a fairly good job of not disclosing that I was raped before I went in. So I had done my best, squeeze the cans. All of a sudden the needle was floating. So I never believed in that side of it. But sit in a room for 10 hours and you suddenly remember you were raped before you went in. And no matter what you do, they sit there and they pull and pull and pull. And all of a sudden I'm having nightmares again. And I'm reliving that one night of my life over and over and over again in my dreams. But then they wake you up and they tell you it's time to go shovel. Then you start your day over again. And then you go back into your sec check. And I had hours upon hours upon hours of sec check. And again, if nobody knows what a sec check is, it's security check. It's Scientology's way of pulling out supposedly all your overts and withholds, even if you don't have any. Even if it's just a bad thing that happened to you, that happens to millions of girls out there, but it's a bad thing that happened to you. And they pulled it out. And then I couldn't sleep because every time I closed my eyes, I got to relive a rape when I was 15 years old. Over and over. To the point where I thought I was going crazy and I was ready to jump off the building. I couldn't live my whole life reliving that moment for the rest of my life. Because if they're going to kill me, I'd rather do it myself. Because the nightmares are so bad that you can't see them ending. You can't see that it's going to stop. So I got followed up to the roof. And I was ready to jump right across the street, staring at the Celebrity Center. I was ready to jump. Mathematically, if I jumped like a swan, I would chance breaking my neck and dying instantly. It's the stupidest thing to think about. But they get off on you hurting. And they only want you, when they're ready for you to leave, it's when they think they broke you. Well, they broke me. I just had to take years to rebuild, but they broke me. And I met some really shit people along the way. Met some really good ones. Some that have really pretty colors in their hair.
The prettiest colors.
But they don't let you go until you're broken. Until your soul is crumbled. And then you think that you're this horrible human being. Then they drive you home. Or they give you $500 and a bus ticket. It's not a good place. And I know my story's not the only one. I just managed to get out of there without admitting that I had slept with girls in there. I knew it was wrong, or at least, no, it wasn't wrong. It was right. But it shouldn't have been a secret. But unfortunately, how we grew up, it had to be a secret.
Well, you knew it would get you in trouble. It would make more hassle for you then.
I thought it would get me killed. Because realistically, we all knew about, other people, something happening to other people. So I thought it would get me killed. If anyone ever found out, even in my sex check, I thought it would get me killed.
That's horrendous. And that's how you lived your whole life because you were born into this.
It
So
was the
this is
fear.
everything.
It was the fear that being gay is so wrong and so deplorable that you honestly are better off dead than being gay.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And so you pretend to like a boy in there. No, I wasn't one of the ones that married a man. I know.
I did have to ask, remember? I was like,
Yeah.
were you married in the Sea Org? Because like a lot of people who aren't straight are married in the Sea Org because it's just what you do to get better housing.
Yeah, you get better housing.
Mm-hmm.
You get nookie time even if you don't like the person. But I'm good on being a glory hole. Like, that doesn't sound fun. And there's not enough drugs in the world to have me do that again. Sorry.
No sorries needed.
No apologies needed. I love
really
that,
wish
actually.
that. Just curious, did you ever pursue any kind of report on your attacker or justice or anything like that?
Without getting too in detailed about it, we did.
Okay.
We tried very hard. And the girl that was supposedly my best friend gave some letters over, making it look like I was a whore.
And
So
this was all in Scientology that this happened with the abuser and with you.
No,
And
this was in the blog world, unfortunately.
Oh.
Well, it's not unfortunately. It's just you were not equipped to have any support system around you or know how to deal with that with like literally the public. For your first time, you're probably interacting with kind of people who aren't at the ranch, and then this happens. What are you supposed to do? You know?
Yeah, it's hard. It was hard enough to make friends outside. Some people thought I spoke differently, you know, and I'm like, well, how am I speaking differently? I don't understand. Like, but then I don't get slang. I don't get it at all. But then it's come to find out it's because I'm autistic, and the only reason I know is because of you, V.
Well, they made me in my abnormal psych, like, and all the different interesting disorders and spectrums were all under. I know all symptoms now. Like, I can kind of name them off. So when someone says something that is like directly off of a chart, I'm like, have you ever considered this? She's like, because I don't get sarcasm. I was like, what? Because she had asked me that, do you not get sarcasm? Because we were comparing like our lives, because we all have very similar experiences, and we're like, I don't like this either. I don't like this either. And it's nice because we can advocate for each other and understand in ways that other people can't who haven't been through the experience. And when Liz says something to me about my parents, I know it's coming from a place of understanding and vice versa and stuff. But yeah, so that was
it was kind of cool to find out, because I always thought I was like, I knew I wasn't stupid, like I was book smart. I always considered myself book smart but not street smart, because I didn't understand, you know, the street. Anyway, I don't understand that lingo either.
A lot of CR kids have similar problems too, though, with that, because they didn't get pop culture.
Yeah.
Growing up,
they're not used to.
They weren't watching. You guys weren't watching TV, and like,
we had TV. We broke the rules. Well, my Nana got me a TV and VCR, and so when I was a kid, there was a TV and a VCR.
Well, way to go, Nana.
Yeah, and then when we moved, I had a TV and VCR.
I mean, I learned so much about the real world. I hate to say it, from Beverly Hills 90210, right? So, like, the fact that you watched TV probably helped you learn about outside culture.
Hell no. I only watched Thundercat for hours. And then when I watched it as an adult, I was like, oh my God, I was mildly retarded. Because I watch it now, and all I could think of is, man, this is bad. Like,
maybe it was like
other people liked that. I think other people liked that show. I want to say my husband likes it too.
I love that show. Like, the first DVD set I bought was Thundercat season 1 and 2 on DVD.
There's an orange cat in there named Lionel, right?
Lionel?
Yeah.
My first crush was Chitara. That should tell you how gay I am.
Ooh, that was a fierce little cat lady, though.
I know, but there's something about the gymnastic moves. Oh dear God.
Oh my God.
It's okay. We're very open and accepting.
Did you like?
Wait a second. Light bulb.
Did you like the women from Mortal Kombat? I always thought they were like really pretty with their like fans and their high kicks. Like, I always wanted
but no,
to be them.
I have had this fascination with cheerleaders my whole life.
Oh,
like the jumping around, and I just like, oh, Chitara jumping around, kicking. Oh, dear God.
Where it all started.
Chitara. Oh, honey, I found my Chitara.
Aww.
You want to dress up? I'll dress up like Lion-O, and you can dress up like Tara for Halloween.
Oh, I love it.
I was gonna bring Elvis to say hi to your love really quickly if she would like to see him.
Here she comes. She's been waiting.
Okay, I'll grab him.
She's
Hold on.
waiting. She said, I'm only here for Elvis.
Elvis, come here, baby. Come here, honey.
Oh, I love that dog.
He knows he wants to bark back at you. He knows he wants to.
Uh-huh.
I hear little snippets and then he's like, oh wait, mom's on camera. Wait.
They had like a really beautiful love affair, him and Carrie. I'd be like, whoa, did he just give you a kiss?
doing big things.
Elvis.
Yeah, I got kisses. I got cuddles.
I can't. That's so funny.
I-
Obviously, you speak his language because he was comfortable with you, which is
Right.
amazing. He was like, yeah, I guess I'll let you touch me. That's fine, lady. I like you.
Yeah, she had the touch. And Liz was like, oh no, my partner's like really good with dogs. And I was like, sure. Like this dog is like bad. Like he will lunge and bite you if you try to pet him. And then it all worked out.
Mm-hmm. Coach
What a
is
fun
dog
weekend.
whisperer. She's
Yeah.
also the baby whisperer too. You see a baby upset, just be like, hand it to her.
Oh, she's so loving. We love
She's
her
nurturing
so
and
much.
loving you.
He's like talking so much shit right now. I don't even know why.
Oh, you know why? He's probably saying "fuck L. Ron Hubbard." That's what he's saying. He's got to be saying that. Like, let me go
Yeah.
pee on his grave, mom, please.
Yeah.
Wasn't he cremated?
He probably was. It's such a Scientologist thing. My mom was cremated, and I don't get it.
That's
And
right.
she
My
wanted
mom
to be buried.
cremated too, but
Yeah.
you know,
Hi, baby.
she
Come
wants to be
here.
spread out in the ocean. I told her I was going to spread her in a gay club.
Do whatever you want to do. That's your healing, bro.
So
you.
this is our sweet friend. Okay.
Oh yeah. Tell us what you feel about Scientology. Bite him, boy.
See, who needs a gun when you've got an Elvis?
And what about those pesky PIs? What are you gonna do to them, buddy?
I mean, straight up, Liz was like, I should bring the dogs because she didn't get sarcasm. And I was like, where am I going to put my dogs in the Uber? I was just making a joke. And she was like, you're going to bring your dogs? I was like, no, I'm just kidding. And then she's like, maybe you should bring Elvis. He's scary. I was like, you're right. He would actually be the dog to bring.
Yep.
Just the man for the job.
Be like, don't make me throw my dog at you.
It's like one of those dogs, like someone tries to touch you, he will literally bite your fucking hand off.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting a little more cozy. He's got like love growls right now.
He's so cute.
That's what we realized. He likes to kind of purr.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
He's
at the
so
same
used
time,
to it.
you're not getting that dog is so yours.
Oh my God, Liz, stop.
I kind of said it before, but I don't like to put that juju on people because I know how hard it is when you foster a hard to adopt an animal, and then you're like, I can't.
I was just
Yeah, because it's
telling her, like, he came through this with us. Like, I don't know. This has been a really wild time. So he's kind
Seriously.
of our little Lucifer mascot. It would be.
I like it.
Yeah, well, now we're opening another can of worms, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is, you guys let me deal with this forever. Like, are we sure?
I feel like you were built for this, though, Vanessa. This is like
I'm
our
pretty
upbringing
sure
has brought us to this point to be able to live in this
I
kind of
just don't know if
toxicity.
anyone else could at this
That's
point.
true.
And he like
That's true.
has cancer. So like, you know, is it even like he would hate it?
Yeah.
Right?
It would be a horrible adjustment because he would probably take so long to adjust, and then he's not doing well. I mean, his mental
I mean, unless he
well-being-
lived with Carrie.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That wasn't a no. That wasn't a no.
Fully aware.
Carrie and I have the same funny laugh, like ha ha ha, you're being silly, ha ha ha.
And if you get her laughing good enough, she'll snort.
Oh my gosh, that's why Elvis likes us. Well, Liz, is there anything you want to make sure you talk about or say, because we want you to be in charge of telling your story. And I know that we're about to go big with it. We're about to go to the press. And, we don't want to censor you, monitor you. We want to make sure you have your platform.
Free reign. Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Okay. So the only thing that comes to mind is being told that your dad is dead is hard enough.
Yeah.
Not having a place to mourn him or to be able to tell him that you're doing good or you're doing bad, or even have a dad. It was hard enough. But then you find out almost 20 years later, he's been alive and has never reached out to me. And I've never reached out to him because I thought he was dead. Why would I reach out? I don't talk to the Ouija board. The closest I get to a scary, oh no, you made me watch that stupid movie. That's the closest I get to a Ouija board is that stupid Jenga movie. Wasn't it Jenga?
Ouija.
Oh, I was close. But I always wondered if he even cared. And then finding out that he told people that basically I was the best thing to happen to him. I was his pride and joy. I wish that he had told me that. But then at the same time, I'm also glad how things have happened, because I don't think when I was in my 30s, I could have handled this. Because I didn't realize that, I wasn't even at a point where I thought Scientology was a cult. So everything for me has fallen into a place like a stack of dominoes. And I'm hoping that someone hearing my story, someone else's domino will spark off and we'll be able to bring them down. They can reach out to you. They can reach either one of you and know that it's okay that we're us, gay, straight, purple, blue, whatever we are, we're second generation and we all have a story. And if we can get our story out there, maybe someone else won't be a second generation next time. Maybe there won't be a chance for there to be another first generation. They can finally hear our stories and shut them the fuck down. Sorry, but just shut them down.
What was it we said? Like, they're going to be crushed by the children who they crushed. So
yeah,
watch the F out, because I'm sorry, but like, we're the ones who are going to take it down.
This.
So
you don't scare us. They went to gold. They went to your freaking front door and they showed up.
We conquered some of our biggest fears, and I think
Absolutely.
everybody will see that in the clips and the videos. We thankfully recorded it really well. We documented everything. You can see our fear. You can see her hope. It's a journey in itself that like most people wouldn't see because it's so bizarre. Who goes out to the desert? I mean, the whole premise, who even has to hear their father? I mean, the whole thing is so wild. It sounds fake, but we know it's not, just like the harassment and everything. So
you can't say that things didn't happen. I mean, are they going to? Yeah. Or, but
are they going to spin it? Are they going to say that it was Jeffrey who made us go? Of course. Are they going to say that I'm a freaking psych? Of course.
Let's not. I am a gay person that takes medication.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm covered in tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm all about defiling the body.
You're such a DB.
Oh my God. Right. That's why we love you.
Yeah.
That's why we fit in so well together. And also, I love that you took your pills right in front of them. I'm sorry, but that was like the most iconic text message I got from V. I'm sitting at home to make sure everything goes good in case I need to call the cops from a completely different state. Okay.
She has our
safety first. Safety first, y'all. We were really safe about this. We had tabs on different people knew where they were at all times.
Yeah.
We were not playing. And to get that one text message, because I was at home just on watching for my phone all day, and her phone died. So there was a big lull.
My one update.
And I was like, I was like, Liz is a badass. I don't want to overstep.
Took her psych meds on the fucking front lawn.
Right in front of them. And I was like, fuck yeah. That's exactly what second gen is all about. We don't give a flying shit about your stupid bullshit rules, ideologies. It's all trash.
You're epic. Epic.
Yeah.
That was epic.
That's going to go down in history. Those little fuckers. We'll be talking about you for decades.
Probably. You know, that could be the thing they declare me over. Like the fact that I am on medication that helps regulate my anxiety.
Then they are like main producers on. Oh, hello, buddy.
Just a little. He was saying hi. It's okay.
A little jalapeno.
Just a little spice
Hello,
to the conversation. Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah, yo quiero Taco Bell.
He literally looks exactly like that.
That little dog with the plushies. Yeah, we collected all those.
And thank God for animals, or thank dog, because I know Liz has a husky who she has loved for a long time, and I'm just glad you had that animal and that love, because you freaking deserve it, man. You're such a
warrior,
wonderful
badass
person, and we're so lucky to know you. Sometimes when you just like go with a whim, it like doesn't work out. And I have had bad experiences with like former members. But you know what? Sometimes it does work out.
Sometimes it absolutely does. But you're right.
Yeah.
You know, but there's also, and here's another thing you got to close out with. Just because they say they're a second generation, doesn't mean that they are. Like there's certain things that you should know. You should know where the mess hall was. You should know, you know, where did your parent line up for muster? Because guess what? If you don't know any of those two basic things, you may not know where they live. That's okay, because there was a few different buildings. But at the same time, if you don't know any of those things, or another name or a post or a position, stop lying. We got shit. Like, we don't want to be us.
True.
Like,
it's not
this isn't you won the motherfucking lottery. This isn't like, hey, guess what? I got beaten. Isn't it cool? Like, I maybe saw my mom an hour a day when she wasn't, and then I did get to see her, let's not forget the ammonia, getting put into a bathroom full of ammonia and trying to breathe. Like,
it's honestly amazing how many people tell stories, either if they're trying to infiltrate or not, but then how many don't. I mean, like we were saying earlier, you know, you and Catherine and a few others are like in the minority of the kids who were raised and had to deal with this. I know. It's sad.
I think they're all very scared. And they're scared to lose what they think is their family, because that is dangled over our heads. And we walk that fine line our whole freaking life. We know if we step out of line. We know if we talk too much.
Well, and, you know, my friend pointed out, and I'll bring it up because it's true, and I used to feel this way too. You can make an effect under the radar. It doesn't mean you're afraid. If you are manipulating information and teaching inside of the bubble without them knowing you're a suppressive person, you can make a difference. So it's not always about who's the most vocal. If for some reason you're going to have a family member loss, maybe it's better if you're watching our channel and then kind of passing on the information, creating little seeds of doubt. We understand that. We're not saying you have to stand up and scream about it, but I find it interesting that 2 members of like the cadet org, or just a few that I know personally, really barely any, have spoken up, and so many have been through similar horrible abuses. And it's just like, we hope you guys know that we're going to support you if you ever stand up and want to speak out. And we also understand that not everybody cares anymore, and that's all right, but it's not all right to happen to anybody else. And it's still happening to adults. I mean, they're still like in the store.
All the things that we went through, maybe children aren't going through, but adults are. Whether it's the hole, whether it's they disbanded the RPF. Okay, sure they did.
Well, you know? We were told that there's a new hole, and we saw it on the map. And when we were there, right? Like,
it's, don't tell us that you've changed your ways. It's just not happening to children. It's happening to people that are staff.
Yeah.
It's happening to kids, to moms, to grandmas, but because of the fucking rules, they had to disconnect. And then they don't know that they are a great grandma or a grandma or, you know, whatever it may be.
There's no connection.
But at the same time, they're still human.
Yeah.
Above all else, they're still human. And no human deserves to dig their own grave or to wonder where, if they're going to eat again.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to get water. No human deserves to have nightmares pushed on you to the point where you're ready to jump off of a fucking building, and you want to do it across them so they can see the pain that they've given you. They don't care.
Yeah,
the trick is it's not right to do it.
And you reminded me just how dark they are when you we were talking about the harassment I was experiencing, and you were like, don't forget, they're going to do things as stupid as stand by your car and smoke a cigarette to annoy you, but they could also fair game you where they're actually trying to not only infiltrate your life and create people close to you that you trust to disappoint you or turn their backs on you or provide information back to them, but they would really prefer if we just offed ourselves. Yeah, and just neutralize the threat. So like, we're literally studying CIA psychological terror manuscripts that they've studied to try to be informed, right, about what's happening. And it's unfortunate that they're so dark and dirty, but they're not going to win. Like, we're healthy women and we've done a lot of work.
And we're going to live just to spite you. Like, are you kidding me? We're going to take our meds in front of your buildings.
Yeah.
We're going to go make jokes while we're doing it. We're going to make police reports. We're going to do welfare checks. We're going to give a shit about people, even if they didn't give a shit about us as kids or as teens or as adults. Because some people don't get to lose their humanity, even though they go through the depths of freaking hell, being in, you know, a born-in Scientologist and like raised in this shit.
Yeah. Well, no matter who comes out next, I hope that they find a family, because we were each other's family when we were kids, and we can be each other's family again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, if you're scared of what they're going to do to you, they've already won.
Yeah. No fear over here. No fear.
And nothing about getting your damn TRs in. You can show fucking emotion. Like, don't make me poop in my hand and throw it at them, because that's what's gonna
Oh my God. When we were going, she's like, I think I might poop my pants. I was like, if you poop your pants, you're going to take it and you're going to throw it at the gate and we're going to be fine. We're just going to like make everything just about like screw them, to be honest. So
to be honest,
it all worked out. She didn't even poop her pants. We just like,
we're like big kids now, guys.
Yeah.
No shit in our pants over here. And by the way, when we were talking about starting our channel, that was something I kept telling B. I was like, I might shit my pants. What if people don't give a shit? Like, what if they're like, you're adults, who cares? And I was like, but I know I was a kid that cared. I know there was lots of people who didn't want to be alive at certain ages in their life. Hey, that was me too. Like, and then you think about, what were you looking for at that age? What were you looking for? Who did you need to hear? Who did you need to see? Who did you need to feel represented by? So.
And we had each other. And if we realized that we had each other, was the kids unruly? Absolutely.
We were kids.
We had each other. There was no parents involved. We had each other. And if we form a line, they can't touch us.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing today.
So we like to stand by. Yeah. So we stand by our friends and our family.
I'll tell you that. All four of us and freaking Jeffrey and
Elvis. Don't forget that cute
little. And Elvis and our helper Claire and Jackson and everybody who helped us.
Everybody who kept dibs on their safety
and made sure
and where
we
they
were safe and all that.
Yep. Because, you know, they want to, people want to say, I hope a Scientologist does listen to this, because being realistic, you're being told a lie.
Yeah.
And as long as you know, as long as you continue to think that L. Ron Hubbard walked on water, or he's going to come back and he's going to take Scientology back over. Let's be realistic. Anybody that's read Dianetics, because we all had to. He said he was done. There's no rinse, recycle, repeat. He said he was done. He had completed everything he wanted to do. There's no coming back because it's not real.
It's not real is definitely a key
And
word.
people are waiting because they don't want to disappoint Ron, is her point. I'll even elaborate that. Like, people actually think he's coming back, and they don't want to leave the Sea Org because if Ron comes back and they're not there, they broke their billion-year contract. And that's a real consideration for people. So that's why she's saying that over and over, because he's not coming back. This is some crazy stuff you're doing for a man who passed away 35 years ago, 36 almost years ago, right? So what the hell are you doing? Wasting your life? You have beautiful children out here to your father. You have a beautiful daughter out
Who's
here.
intelligent, who's the nicest,
drove
kindest
10
human.
hours to see you or more overnight, and then dragged her freaking friends out there to the desert, and we all like stood there and we're like, hello, Bob, where's Bob? And we were like, are we
the whistle?
Well, yeah, we have a great video about the whistle too, because it was right after it happened, and we were like, let's talk about this, because the whistle was what gave us hope. And like, you know, everybody, her dad used to call her down from the trees when she was talking about that climbing story earlier with the trees, and she was trying to just see her parents, and her dad would do 2 whistles to get her down, right? So we were listening the whole time just to see. Because we had a lot of feelings. And like at one point there was a van and we were pretty sure dad was in it. We all felt that. And we were all just like weirdly listening for whistles because she had told us that story on the way there. And what happened when we went to leave, Liz?
There was 2 whistles and I thought I imagined it, but there was every part of me that was like, that was real. And then they whistled again. So I whistled back, and then they whistled a 3rd time.
Yeah.
And that time they didn't, when I whistled back, they didn't respond. But it was
I heard it.
Whistle.
So did Jeffrey. So did Carrie. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that whistle means that he wants to get out. Like there's others that want to get out.
Yeah.
And just get out. It's better on the outside than it is on the inside.
I think your dad tried to escape, and that's why they called you. They forgot that they told you he died, and they were trying, because that's what they do. We know that. They try to call the family members to see where the person blew to. The fact that your father, 72 years old, would have to escape in the desert alone, and is now back. That's what freaks us out. That's why we're moving on this. We want you to have time with your father. We get it. If he's not going to come, he's not going to come. But you made it known you were there and you love him. And that was our goal. That was really our goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I still was hoping that he would get in the fucking car.
I know.
Even though everybody told me not to hold hope for that. When you have a shitty parent growing up, you just want one.
Well, you got in the car different. But you got in the car with confirmation that
someone whistled.
Yeah. And that we like did it.
And that you went there. You did it.
I mean, we were there. Like
you showed up with no notice.
Even if it wasn't him, I mean, we don't know. We're not done with this yet. We're still in the middle of figuring out with the sheriffs and the authorities, and we're still unwinding this whole thing. So we're not sure where it ends. But we do know that like her father is supposedly alive. Nobody took did they take a fingerprint list?
Oh God. I talked about that with the reporter.
Okay, what?
So no fingerprints were taken, no pictures were taken.
Okay.
And so the statistics, the idea that they witnessed him, or at least said it was him via one lazy eye. You know how many people have a lazy eye? Realistically.
Yeah.
I didn't even think.
And like, do you know how many
picture.
70-something-year-old white men are on that base?
Yeah, it's probably like majority of what's on that base right now, sadly.
Yeah. Because it was, back in the 80s, it was.
Yeah. It's the OGs that are still trapped in that.
So they were not. So okay, basically we thought, that he was verified. We're still not sure, but we're not done with it yet. And you got to find out some answers, at least a little bit. We got to do what we went to do and get the ball rolling and continue to roll. So now from here, we're going to keep going. And it's not just where's Shelly, it's like, where's Bob? So we want to know, and we're going to keep going back, and we're going to bring bullhorns next time and signs.
And we're, Charlie's SP Angels.
Yeah. We want everybody to come with us. Why not? Like, honestly, we're not alone.
Have a freaking parade.
Yeah.
Oh my
Let's
God.
just parade. Why don't we have like a pride parade right out front? That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I mean, I did wear my rainbow necklace.
Yep.
I kind of had my own pride
The
parade
little
when we
lanyard.
went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a walking gay billboard, so I'm my own lanyard.
Oh, remember they used to say in Portland, we're here, we're clear. We'll say we're here, we're queer.
We're
proud.
Yeah.
All
All right.
right, we're
They'll
ready.
love it.
Let's mobilize the army. Hashtag where's
I'm coming
Bob?
next time. I'm coming next time, guys. So
For sure.
Wait, don't forget to bring your medication, and we'll all
Oh my God.
right up
Thursday
front.
at 2, we're all gonna pop an anti-anxiety pill just for like the lost homies. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
We can
I'm
bring
okay
a little
with
cow mag, sprinkle a little on the.
Yeah,
Hey,
drink
I still like CalMag.
I know, Vanessa does too. That's what I said.
Tangerine lime.
She
I
does
have
too.
like literal
She
footage
has
of
it.
me making them CalMag and like toasting in a weird Scientology ritual before we went cold.
This is what
Yeah.
happens, guys. This is
Yeah,
just
this
what happens. This is what happens when you start hanging with the degraded daughters. And this is what happens when you hang with second generation
When you're a
Scientologist kids that
degraded
are
daughter
grown up.
yourself. So,
I'm so
yeah.
fucking proud of you, Liz.
We are really, really proud of you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for giving us the honor of sharing your story and like really caring that it comes from the eyes and mouths of second gens yourself, because we've connected on so many levels generationally as well as just what we've dealt with, because there's all different like things that we all understand. So it's been so nice to have people who get it by my side.
Absolutely.
Ma'am.
All right, well, we are
Thanks for
proud of
hanging,
you.
guys.
We're not done, and
Y'all give